put in your questions, or if depending on how many people we get, we can like pick on you and you can ask your questions live. I know Stephanie put in the chat, hi, this is Stephanie. I have a small baking business called Baked Better. That's so cool. That is just shy of a year old. I don't have any specific questions for tonight. Just wanted to learn more about how I can be more efficient in the infancy of this business. I mean, I'm still trying to learn how to be more efficient, which is why I brought Allie on. Yeah, so I think we'll give it a few more minutes, or you can get started. This is one of the very first wine and websites. I drank the wine before, I'm sorry. But I haven't had the chance of going to the grocery store, so it sans wine for me, but if you guys have wine, please go ahead and grab yours now. But so it's kind of the first online version, I guess, and so forgive us if I seem awkward. I'm sure Allie has it all under control, but yeah, so I don't know, do you want to wait a couple minutes or do you want to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, we can wait another minute. I do think that it's really ironic that this event got moved to online because we're literally using one of the tools to make your business more organized to have this event. So using Zoom and Facebook Live. So, I mean, it's only fitting, right?
Yeah. So how is it, you're at home with the husband or with your fiance?
Boyfriend, yeah.
Boyfriend, and I mean, literally, if you talk to a Mexican, they're like, "Oh yeah, you guys are married." Like, no, there was no ring at that moment. But yeah, how is it working? Like being at home with the kiddo and everything?
It's been an adjustment for sure, but I think everyone's kind of in the same boat, and I know I keep reminding myself of that we're all struggling, and we're only getting better as the weeks go on. We're getting, this is going to become our new temporary normal, it seems. So just trying to focus on all the positives that it's brought.
Yeah. I've learned so much about my kids that sometimes I wish I hadn't, but yeah. So do you want to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. Awesome. Well, those of you that don't know me, my name is Allie Stifler, and I'm a full-time virtual assistant, a queen of time management, self-proclaimed, and a co-owner of Type A Consulting. And Type A Consulting is a team of virtual assistants that supports creative entrepreneurs by helping them strategize and supporting them with their administrative needs. So that's a little bit of my background. Just like Stephanie, Type A Consulting actually just turned a year old a couple weeks ago. So we're kind of in the same boat, and hopefully that my experience over the past year can help Stephanie and then everyone else that's watching as well. I've been fortunate enough to not only be growing my own business, but my team has supported 16 other small businesses over the last year. So I've not only learned my own tools, but I've learned the tools and systems of 16 other businesses. So I have a fair share of experience. So hopefully with whatever challenges or problems you're having in your current business, hopefully today we can figure out a tool or system that can help resolve those challenges for you. I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. I know that Yasmin is going to be looking for any comments or questions that come in. So go ahead and have those flow in, and I'll answer those as they come up. But I'm just going to start off for tools. Why do we use tools and why do we implement them in our business? Well, if you're going to be implementing a tool, it should be solving a problem for you. If you're implementing a tool and it is causing more struggle than resolving something for you, don't use that tool. I know plenty of business owners that have gone through 3 different CRMs or used different email marketing tools until they found the right one. So it should always be solving a problem for you. And if it's a great tool, it should be taking some tasks and time off of your plate so you can take control of your time and focus more on your big goals, bringing on more clients or getting more sales. It should be really benefiting you. So keep that in mind as you're searching through tools. What I'm gonna do now, for those of you that are watching, is ask you, what challenges are you facing in your business right now? So go ahead and drop them in the comments. I have a few. I know Simone had one. So I'm gonna throw it up. I have my Fancy Nancy poster board in the back, so I'm gonna write them up there and put some notes down. Hopefully you can read it. I'll try to write it big. I don't know, can you read that? Maybe not. You can? Okay. So Simone's was focused on email marketing and knowing the difference between MailChimp and Flowdesk. Are there any other comments down there of challenges?
Some of my clients also use ConvertKit. I mean, they kind of MailerLite, and so but they also have gone through the process of switching from like MailChimp to this other one, and the people who were on MailerLite, now they're going to Flowdesk, and it's just this craziness of me switching their site from one to another, and I'm doing the same exact thing because I'm trying to find the best one. So for email marketing, definitely, it's just like this whirlwind of which one is the best one.
Yes. So I'll talk a little bit about MailChimp and Flowdesk today, because these seem, at least with the businesses I work with, smaller businesses, these seem to be the most popular options. And both are great options, really, but there's definitely pros and cons to each. For MailChimp, one of the pros is that there is a free version. So if you're a new business starting off, maybe you don't want to have a lot of expenses, so you can start off with the MailChimp free version of that. And then they have tiered layers of like $10 is the next one, and then it goes up beyond that too. Whereas with Flowdesk, there's a free trial, but then after that, forever and always, you always pay $38 a month, and you get everything with that. Whereas with MailChimp, at different tiers, you get access to different things. So at least with Flowdesk, once you pay, you know what you're getting. And I think one of the major differences that I've noticed is just the aesthetic of the emails that come from both. With MailChimp, you kind of know when a MailChimp email comes in your inbox, you kind of know it's from MailChimp, and that's fine. It's still a great email marketing tool. But with Flowdesk, it's so much more customizable. You can really have it fit to your brand and just look really beautiful. Like when a Flowdesk email comes into my inbox, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And I'm sure if you've received those too, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so on brand. It's just so like awesome. What is your experience, Yasmin? Have you noticed any major differences? I know you said that you have checked out Flowdesk.
Yeah, so Flowdesk is so far visually my favorite, but for me, it's more of like that hassle of, okay, now I have to, how many of these like freebies and all that am I going to keep if I transfer everything over to another company? Because it's not like easy just copy and paste. It would have to be recreated.
Yeah.
And then again, with websites, I mean, for me, it's easier to just sync it versus creating the content. I hate content creation. But I mean, for me, it's easy to grab a snippet of code and put it in there. But I know some of my clients, it's for them to embed something, it just kind of gives them the jitters. So, and then some of them have asked about, they use MailChimp with the social share. So if they send out a newsletter, then it shares through social. I don't know if Flowdesk does that, but I also don't have many clients that do that. They know it's available through MailChimp, but
yeah, I don't know that many people that actually do that either. One thing that is really nice about Flowdesk though is there's they have workflows. So when you send an email blast out, say to 100 of your clients, you can see who's opened it, who didn't, and then you can easily indicate who did not open it so you can target them again. You can do this in MailChimp as well, but it's just not as easy to find it and then to actually take action on it. So that's really nice too if you're really looking to target maybe potential clients or leads, where you can follow up that way, and it's just kind of like broken down in this grid, like yes, they opened, no, they didn't, and then just keep retargeting after that. So that's definitely a positive to Flowdesk as well. All right, does anybody else have any challenges, or is anything else posted? If not, I can just keep going with my notes that I have.
No, but I did get something. So social media management, same thing, where it's like there's all these tools. I think Hootsuite isn't as popular anymore. I haven't heard people using it, but there's all the other ones like Planoly and just a ton of them. So what have you found works best, or does it depend on I'm assuming it depends on the social media platform that you are focusing in? Oh.
Yeah, so I have two favorites. Definitely the Facebook Creator Studio. So Facebook has their own content scheduling platform that's free. It's only for business pages. You can't use it for a personal page, but your business page you can. And you can also sync up your business Instagram page to it. So you can schedule out content for Facebook and Instagram for free, all in one place. And you can even from there share to your stories. You can go live, you can do Instagram TV, all from the Facebook Creator Studio. I think a lot of people don't know about that. But it's a really great platform to use, and it's free, and it's really intuitive too. It's not difficult. So that's great. If you're looking though to post on more platforms other than just Facebook and Instagram, so maybe Twitter and LinkedIn as well, I find that Buffer is a really great fit for that. You can sync up all of your accounts in one place. It's super user-friendly. That's the one that I found that's kind of my favorite. But there's a whole bunch of other ones too. I know Planoly, they had an issue with Facebook though for a while where Facebook like cut them off, and then none of your scheduled content was getting posted. So I'm not sure if all of that has been resolved, but I know that was an issue at one point. But from my experience with Buffer, I haven't had any of those issues.
I didn't know about the Facebook content. I knew that you could schedule, but I didn't know that it went through to Instagram as well.
Yep.
So those are the basic two that I use. So that's for me. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, and you can see all of your insights and all of that too in the same spot. So it's really nice. I recommend it to anyone, especially if you're only on, or the majority of your social media is Facebook and Instagram. Why not use this? Facebook's never going to deny it because it's their own program, and it's free. So it's great. I like it. Let's see. So another thing, I think I wanted to touch on this today because of all of our changes in all of our lives that we've been experiencing lately. I think a lot of people I've seen on social media are saying, I don't have enough hours in the day. I don't have time to work my full-time job from home and homeschool my child and clean the house and walk the dog and, all of this stuff. We can't even find groceries when we need to. So I think, and this is something I did last week, is we need to eliminate some of our distractions through the day. And a tool that I use is a time tracker. So I have one printed out. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you literally just do a time audit and you go through, I don't know if you can see it, there's a lot of lines on there, but basically it's just all the times, and then there's an activity, and then you rate it as a priority. So one day of your week next week, go through and do a time audit. And like, I was shocked, like how much time I spent on social media that wasn't, I spent a lot of time on social media for my job, but it wasn't for my job. Like I was just bored. And then I was like, well, why did I spend so much time on that when I have other things to do? Or being distracted because the weather's nice outside. You know, maybe taking a longer walk with your dog than you typically would. And just do a time audit and just see where your time is going, because we do have more time than we think we do. We just kind of waste it. And I think right now, especially when we're trying to jam so many extra things like homeschooling and all of this into our day, it's really important to break down our day and see where our time's going. So that's a tool I like to use. You can like Google it, time tracker, time audit, print one out.
So how do you rate the priority though? Because for example, what I'm thinking of, because I am that person that's like trying to not eat all the carbs and work out still and homeschool and run businesses, right? So like, how do you, because I think for me, the priority would be the businesses, but then I still get to give my kids some kind of education or structure. So what would be the priority for that? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm asking you for permission of not putting them as a priority, but.
No, I think, well, one way to do it, like a number one priority is something that is urgent and important. So something that like needs to be done, you need to do it every day. You need to, you know, pay your bills or send your invoices because you need to get paid. And then on the flip side is like a 4 priority is be what is not urgent and not important. Me watching Netflix for 2 hours every night is not urgent and it's not important, really. Yeah, it can be my self-care, kind of. But if I'm to choose self-care, I'm probably going to choose something differently than watching Netflix.
Well, so now watching, so we need to say working out or like eating something.
So I just do like a 1 through 4 scale. So urgent, important, like needs to happen today, non-negotiable. Not urgent, not important is a 4, and then in between is, you know, maybe it's not urgent, but it's important. So that would be like a 2. And then something else, you know, a 3 is maybe, you know, it's a little bit urgent, like it needs to be done, but it's not important to happen today. And I can send out to anyone that's RSVP'd to this event and has provided their email, I can send out this printout that I have. I actually created it to give out, so I can send that out later on if you want to see this all like visually in a PDF too. But I think it's really important to do this time audit and see where your time's going. And, you know, you can fit it all in. You just have to see it visually and say, oh my gosh, like I spent that much time on social media or Netflix. And when you see it visually, you're kind of shocked and you're like, okay, now I know where my time's going.
Yeah, there was a book, we'll come back to your topic, but there's a book where they interviewed a lot of working mothers and they made them do parents, and they made them do a time audit to see how much of a not burden, that's the wrong word, but how much women were doing in the household and in their jobs or businesses versus the husbands, and then how much they thought they were doing versus how much they were actually doing. So time audits are really interesting, and just I haven't done one in so long. I think this whole issue, I need to do one and see where if I'm actually just sneaking in the dark chocolate all the time or like, you know, I don't know, but I need to do one of those. It's a good thing to bring up.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I can send out that PDF to you and everyone else that's interested in it. Another thing that kind of goes after the time audit, you see where your time is going, and then, you know, you do a brain dump of all of the things that need to happen every day or weekly. And sometimes, you know, we try to keep our to-do list in our head, or we write it down on like a million sticky notes, and you're just like not organized and you forget about something. And like, it's easy to do, especially right now with what we're all experiencing. But after the time on it, after a brain dump, get yourself a task management tool. So this is something like Asana or Monday.com or Trello. These are all great options, and they can help you just stay so organized. And if you don't have experience one of these, I would suggest maybe starting off with Asana. I think that's a really good place to start, and it's free. And you can basically just put your brain dump in there, add due dates, assign them to yourself, or if you have a team member, or even do this for your family, assign a task to your husband or your children with a due date, and they have to go in and see the task and check it off, and it's done. But I think that everyone should be utilizing a task management tool for sure. Asana is free. Monday.com they have a free trial, but then after that, I think it's $25 for the minimum. And then Trello is really great. I like Trello more for like bigger projects rather than like individual little tasks, but that's my preference. They all have free trials.
Yeah, I've tried Asana and Trello. I've heard of Monday. I've heard good things about it. Trello is also free, I think, but it's very simple. Like you have, some people call them swim lanes, and so you have like the cards stacked up. But the reason I like Asana is because you can choose if you want that visual, that format, or if you want more of like a check off list. And when you said that you can have your kids also like share, I have a 9-year-old, and unfortunately, I mean, she has a really old phone, so I hope that the app will still load, but she does have a phone, and she has access to a computer. So I'm thinking, thank you so much, because I think that's how I'm going to start scheduling the whole homeschooling thing. So yeah, that's my favorite is Asana. As you probably know, I tend to stop using it when I get overwhelmed, but when I do use it, it definitely, it works a lot better than all of my notes everywhere.
Yes. Yeah. It's really nice. I really like it. I see Stephanie has a comment over here. Stephanie is curious about the best financial management tools. She's using QuickBooks currently, but sometimes she finds it more consuming than she thinks it should be, especially since it seems like it has issues syncing with my financial institutions more often than not. Okay. So QuickBooks, I think, is really good, especially if at the end of the year, you're going to be giving all of your information to an accountant to do your taxes for you. It does depend on, how much, so you're a baking business, so you're buying inventory and then producing and then selling what you've made. Another option, I don't know, QuickBooks is pretty good. Something that I personally I use PayPal, and it's not as advanced as QuickBooks by any means. You can't upload your receipts and then categorize them, but I'm also a service-based business. But it is kind of a really nice one-stop shop where you can send your invoices, receive invoices. You can even do the little card swipe where you can take payments via card. You can even create an invoice and select that they paid in cash. And it does categorize everything by year, and you can look at your monthly expenses, and it produces all of these awesome reports for you at the end of the year for your taxes. But I do think that QuickBooks is pretty good. Maybe it'd be beneficial for a tutorial for you, Stephanie. Maybe you just, maybe there's something that you don't know that you can utilize within QuickBooks, and that's why it's maybe more challenging for you. And my business partner, Abby, is formerly an accountant, so she is very familiar with QuickBooks. So if there is questions that you have about it, reach out to me and I can connect you with Abby as well, and she can help you get through that.
I just want to say that I still mess up QuickBooks all the time. My accountant will create videos for me and tell me how to do the same thing over and over again. It's been a year, almost over a year since I have had QuickBooks, and I still mess it up. So don't feel bad.
No.
We also have our strengths.
I think QuickBooks is a really great tool. Like, I can't think of anything that's better, but you definitely experience a learning curve when you're learning how to use it. And it's not that clear on how to use it. And unfortunately, you can click a wrong checkbox and like it messes something up. But definitely an accountant is, they experience that all the time. They can help you sort it out too. Stephanie said, glad it's not just me. No, it's not. That's so funny. All right, so we talked about email management, our time audit, task management tools. Let's see. Oh, and our social media content posting. So kind of my last bullet point, and recently I did a little market research, and a lot of people, when it came to time management, and a lot of people said that they struggled with overscheduling or overbooking themselves or scheduling ineffectively. So they would schedule an appointment and then have kind of 30 minutes, 45 minutes in between where they're like, I don't really know what to do at this time, and then have another appointment, and everything was kind of spaced out. Or they were having one appointment every single day, Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock, smack dab in the middle of their day, which obviously isn't the best way to use your time. So a few scheduling tools that I like. One of them is Calendly. I know a lot of small business owners that use this, and it's really nice because you can go in and preset all of your open availability. So say in your mind, you only want to have phone calls or in-person meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can time block it where you only have that available, which is really nice. And then when someone's like, hey, I need to schedule something with you, you can just send your link to them. And they can't schedule on a Monday, so you don't end up having a meeting every single day of the week. Another tool that's really nice is Square Appointments. So that's very similar to Calendly. You kind of have more, you can take payment through that way. I think Calendly you can too if you link it with your PayPal. But Square, it seems more advanced than Calendly to me. There's more options. And then another tool that probably a lot of people use is just Google Calendar, which I think is really nice. You can sync it, send the invitation straight through your Gmail email. You can make changes if you need to go in and make a change to your appointment. The person you have that appointment with gets the email notification as well. So I think if you're dealing with ineffective scheduling or overscheduling yourself, you just need to time block those times and then use one of these tools like Calendly, Square Appointments, or Google Calendar, where you're saying these are the days or these are the times when I'm open to have meetings. Because I know if we said yes to every coffee meeting we ever got invited to, we would probably be spending a lot of money on coffee and spending a lot of time too, because you have to drive to the meeting, sit down, drive home. So those are really great tools as well.
I have a question on, so in this literally, I think I got an email about it today. Somebody wants to add a calendar to their website, but they wanted it so that it's more of a calendar request versus them actually getting booked. So, which I don't know which of the calendar systems. I use Calendly, but I've only ever used it for them to get on my calendar, and then I get a notification. But it's never something where I would have to confirm, like send a yes, you are confirmed.
So with Square Appointments, you can have that option.
Oh, okay.
So they, request the time with you, and then you get to approve or deny it.
Okay.
So that could be an option. I don't think that Calendly has that. I think that if they book, it just automatically goes on your calendar. Yeah. And with Square Appointments too, you can time block and show your availability. And then even if they choose something within that availability, you can still decline it. So that might be a good option.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. Are there any other questions or comments?
Not that I can see. Does anybody else, if anybody is listening, do you guys have anything in particular that has not been as productive this week, and you kind of want to get our take on it? Maybe there's a tool out there that can help you with it. Or does anybody feel like they are sometimes go into tool overload and then they spring clean the tools out? Yeah, so make sure to put it in the comments. And then, so yeah, we talked about email marketing, right? Flowdesk versus MailChimp, and then there's all the other ones out there.
Yeah.
Social media. So what about social media calendar? So we talked about posting and scheduling the posts. Do you use like when you're strategizing your own social media, do you use like a paper calendar? How do you take, I don't know, how do you get a handle on the actual strategy portion of it versus the scheduling?
So I've done a lot. I'll admit right now, my social media game is not that strong. But I definitely know that when I do utilize a calendar and plan it out for a full month at a time, or even a quarter, it is way more effective for me in my business. Because I know once I plan it out and create the content, I just need to schedule it and put it up. I have before done a content creation challenge by Chrissy Connor. Some people that are on may know of her. She's great because she does a challenge. I think at least it used to be a week long, and you create 90 days of content during that time. So you plan it all out. She has videos, awesome videos. You create the content, schedule it out, and you're basically done for a full quarter. And it's definitely a lot of work for that week, but then after that, you're done for the most part. There's things here and there that you'll throw in if there's an interesting article you read or an event you're attending, something more organic. But that's been really successful for me, taking her challenge and then utilizing those I guess skills and tips and tricks that she's shared during that too. So if you're struggling with content creation or just being consistent, that is something I'd recommend for sure.
So if there are any, I will keep checking, but if there aren't any more comments, why don't you tell us, I think you kind of skimmed over what you do, your business in the beginning. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about Type A Consulting, how it got started, and where we can find you.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, Type A Consulting started just a few days over a year ago. I am formerly an executive assistant. I worked for a team of financial advisors, and I've love being in the supporter role and supporting a CEO or an entrepreneur, small business owner. I love that, seeing their dreams and helping them grow their business. And I knew that I wanted to get out of my role as an executive assistant and move and start my own business with the co-owner of Type A Consulting, Abby, because I wanted more for myself and my family. I wanted the ability to have flexibility. I wanted to have the opportunity to have never-ending growth within my own career. And I wanted to support as many business owners as I possibly could with their mission. So I started this whole mission of quitting my job and starting Type A in January 2019. And I gave myself 3 months to quit my full-time job and start Type A. And I did just that. I worked really, really hard for 3 months. I had multiple jobs, worked my full-time job as an executive assistant. I did some cooking for a meal prep company. I had some side clients. Yasmin was one of my first clients that I had. So thank you for trusting in me. And here we are a year later. So then at the end of March of 2019, I quit my job, started Type A, and now we just celebrated a year and have supported 16 businesses with their administrative needs, and helped them implement systems and tools to help their businesses get stronger so they can increase their sales and bring on more clients.
That's amazing. And where can everybody find you?
Yeah, so you can search all Facebook and Instagram for Type A Consulting. And then also, if you have additional questions or just want to reach out, you can email me at Ally, that's ALLY, at type-a-consulting.com.
All right, awesome. So it doesn't look like there's any more questions, but they can always go find you, message you on Facebook or Instagram. And then we will, for anybody who did sign up via email, or if you want to put your email address in the comments, either on Facebook Live, if you're watching the replay, just tag us in there, and then we will get you the information that you were talking about earlier. For what was it, the quadrants, right? The quadrants.
Yes, I'll email out the time audit PDF, so you can do your time audit for a day. And then I'll also include a list of all of the tools that we talked about today. I have a list typed out that kind of briefly shows the pros and cons of each one. So I'll include that in the email too.
Thank you everybody for watching, and yeah, well, thank you so much, Ally, for joining us and sharing all of your knowledge. And yeah, I definitely have to sit down and chat with you about the email marketing and if Flowdesk is good for me or not. Yeah, just to add something else to our list. Yeah, so thank you everybody. And again, you can reach out. You can find me at, I always forget, right? RoblesDesigns.com. You can find me on Instagram at Robles Design Studio. You can follow Digital Hustle Tribe. I am mostly on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, you can just find me and message me any questions that you may have about websites. Productivity, I am still a work in progress. But websites, I've got a handle on.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, then let's see. And then Simone says, "Awesome stuff, girls. Thanks. Yes, email marketing." So we will catch everyone later. And yeah, so have a great evening. Okay.
Bye. Thank you.